Linda here. Thanks for joining me today as I play with the Love Stamp set from Mudra Love Stamps and a few different distress inks. First of all, I'm just lining up the balloon heart stamps where I want them on my card, and I'll be heat embossing them in white. So I'm just using my powder bag and stamping with Versatility ink. Now that my embossing is done, I'm ready to use my distress inks for a little ink blended colour around each of the balloons. So I've chosen 3 colours. The first one is Wilted Violet, and I'm just tapping it off on the side so I can get a nice smooth blend and no dark or smudgy marks. And once I'm happy with the amount of colour that I've blended on, just need to wipe any of that ink off the embossed heart and then move on to my next colour. Picked Raspberry is the next colour. Again, tapping it off so there's not too much ink on my blending tool, and then blending it right over the top of the heart. Mixing into the Wilted Violet ink as well is fine because distress inks are great like that. And then wiping off the hearts so that they're nice and bright white again. And my third colour is Candied Apple, nice rich red colour, blending a nice circular shape around the heart just to give it some definition and beautiful bright colours of love. Now the next step is to work out where I'm going to stamp the gorgeous Forever scripty sentiment that I just love from this stamp set. So I'm using the Simon Says Stamp acetate grid pattern there over the top of my card front just to get everything lined up. And I'm going to do a bit of a test run first of all. So I'm using the same colours that I used for the ink blending because I want it all to coordinate together really well. So I started with Candied Apple, and then I moved on in the centre with the Wilted Violet, which I'm finding a bit difficult to get in the centre being that it's a full-size ink pad. And I'm just going to do a bit of a test run on a scrap piece, and I'm pretty happy with how that's going to look. The only thing I do change when I do my final stamping is I start with the Candied Apple, and then with the full-size ink pad for Wilted Violet I do the last part of the word, and then I use the small ink pad for my Picked Raspberry colour in the centre. That was much easier that way to ink it all up. And I'm doing a second inking, and I move on to do a third and even a fourth, because that's how it is with distress ink. Sometimes you do need to stamp them a number of times to get good coverage. Then I'm moving on to the balloon strings. And there's a sweet little string in the stamp set. I'm just stamping that out with some Versacolor silver ink. next step with my card is to add some extra details with this sweet little solid heart that's in the Love Stamp set. So again, I've got the same 3 colours of distress ink, and I'm just doing a little test off to the side, and then I'm going to stamp 3 of each colour around my white heat embossed hearts. Now, being that it's distress ink, it is a good idea just to grab your aqua brush and just add a little bit of watercolouring over the top of each solid heart, just to get that colour looking a little bit more vibrant and fully blended. Now, I wasn't really happy with the amount of ink that the Wilted Violet hearts had on them, so I've just stamped the Wilted Violet stamp pad down onto my little acrylic block so that I can pick up some extra ink with my aqua brush, and I can add it on to those purple hearts. Now, as a final detail, I wanted to add a strip of patterned paper along the bottom of my card, so I found a coordinating piece and I'm just adding some tape runner to that, and I'll adhere it along the bottom of my card front, and then my stamped panel is going to go above it, mounted on some craft foam just for that extra dimension.